Most dog owners assume male and female dogs are basically the same, apart from the obvious physical differences. Same personality range, same training approach, same daily needs. And on the surface, that feels true. You can have a sweet male dog, a sweet female dog, and they can both love you the same way. But if you look closer, the differences are not small. They can affect how dogs socialize, how they handle stress, how they learn, how they behave around other dogs, how they age, and even what health risks you need to watch for. And when owners don't understand those differences, they often misread their dog. They call it stubborn, they call it moody, they call it dominant. When in reality, a lot of it is biology and hormones interacting with personality, training, and environment. In this video, we're going to uncover the surprising truths about male and female dogs that most owners never think about. Not stereotypes, real patterns that show up again and again. And by the end, you'll understand why two dogs of the same breed can feel like they come with completely different instruction manuals. Welcome to Doggy Dude. If you like content that helps you understand dog behavior, dog psychology, and how to build a stronger bond with your pup, subscribe and turn on notifications. Now let's jump in. 1. Social behavior. How males and females read the room differently. Let's start with a topic that affects daily life more than people realize. Social behavior, especially at dog parks, on walks, or when guests enter your home. Male dogs, particularly unneutered males, are often more likely to engage in physical, rough, competitive play. You'll see more shoulder checking, more wrestling, more play fighting, more posturing. Sometimes it looks intense, but it's often a social test. A way of figuring out boundaries. A way of saying, "Where do I stand with you?" That doesn't mean all male dogs are aggressive. Many males are total goofballs, but as a group, males can be more likely to explore status, challenge, and territory, especially around other male dogs. Female dogs often socialize differently. Many females are more selective. They may walk into a group and immediately decide who they like, who they don't, and how close they want to be. Instead of rough play with everyone, they may prefer calmer play, parallel walking, or short bursts of interaction followed by distance. And here's a key detail. Female dogs are often faster to correct rude behavior, not always with aggression but with clear communication. A stiff posture, a direct stare, a short growl, a snap into the air that says, "Not like that." This is why some owners think females are mean at the dog park. But in many cases, they're simply more selective and more boundaries focused. Of course, every dog is unique. You can absolutely have a male dog who prefers calm interactions and a female dog who is a social butterfly. Breed and socialization matter a lot. But the pattern is common enough that understanding it can change how you manage dog-to-dog situations. If your dog loves rough play, you manage arousal. If your dog is selective, you manage space and choice. Different needs, different approach. 2. Training differences, focus, distractions, and motivation. Now let's talk training, because this is where frustration happens. A lot of owners feel like male dogs are harder, and a lot of owners feel like female dogs learn faster. Sometimes that's true, but it's not because one is smarter. It's often because the motivation and attention profile can differ. Male dogs, especially intact males, can get distracted more easily by smells and movement. They can be more mission-driven. They want to investigate. They want to scan. They want to track. In a world full of scent messages, a male dog may be reading an entire novel on the sidewalk while you're trying to teach heel. That can look like stubbornness, but a lot of the time it's competing priorities. You're asking for focus. The environment is offering something more exciting. The training solution is not harsher corrections. It's better structure. Higher value rewards, shorter sessions, clearer reinforcement timing, and controlled environments before you increase difficulty. Female dogs are often described as more attentive during training. Many females settle into patterns faster and maintain focus longer, especially in calmer settings. They may pick up cues quickly and respond more consistently. But here's the part that people miss. Females can also be more independent in a different way. Some females don't respond just because you asked. They respond because the request makes sense to them or because you built a strong reinforcement history. If the relationship is sloppy, some females become selectively compliant, not defiant, just not impressed. So when owners say, "My female is stubborn," it's often because she's reading the situation and deciding the reward is not worth it. Bottom line, training success comes from consistency, clarity, reinforcement, and learning what your dog values, not from the dog's sex alone, but sex can influence the style you see most often. 3. Personality and temperament. Affectionate doesn't look the same. People love to label male dogs as more loving and females as more distant. That's not a rule, but it's a common experience. Many male dogs show affection in a very obvious way, leaning into you, following you room to room, seeking physical touch, acting like your shadow. That can be partly individual personality, but hormones and social behavior patterns can play a role. Some males are intensely people-oriented and attention-seeking. Female dogs, on the other hand, may show love in quieter ways, staying in the same room without demanding contact, watching you closely, checking on you, choosing to be near you, but not always on top of you. Some females are extremely affectionate, of course, but many express affection with more independence. They can feel emotionally close without needing constant physical closeness. Also, females can be more protective of the household. Not always barking protection. Sometimes it's subtle. They position themselves between you and something unfamiliar. They monitor the environment. They react faster to weird changes. Again, not a guarantee, but a pattern worth knowing. If you misread independence as lack of love, you'll miss what the dog is actually doing. A dog can be loyal without being clingy. 4. Health differences. What you should watch for as they age now. Let's move into health. Because this is where sex-based differences are not just interesting, they can be life-saving. For male dogs, the big topics include prostate issues as they age, especially if intact, testicular cancer risk if not neutered, and injuries related to roaming or conflict, which can happen more in intact males. An enlarged prostate can cause discomfort, straining, and urinary problems. In many cases, neutering reduces prostate enlargement risk dramatically and eliminates testicular cancer risk. For female dogs, two major risks stand out when unspayed: mammary tumors and pyometra, a dangerous uterine infection that can become an emergency very quickly. Pyometra is especially serious because it can develop fast and can be fatal without treatment. Many owners don't realize the risk until it happens. Spaying greatly reduces the risk of pyometra and can reduce mammary tumor risk depending on timing. So yes, both sexes have specific risks. The smart move is not fear, it's planning. Regular vet checkups, watching for changes in appetite, energy, urination, or behavior, and having real conversations with your vet about spay/neuter timing based on breed, lifestyle, and health. 5. Size and build. It's not just bigger or smaller. Now let's talk physical differences. In many breeds, males are generally larger, but the degree of difference can surprise people. In some breeds, males can be dramatically heavier, broader, and more muscular than females. Take Labradors as a common example. A male might be around 75 to 80 pounds, while a female might be closer to 55 to 65. That doesn't sound huge until you live with it. That difference changes. Leash handling, jumping impact, exercise intensity, injury risk, and sometimes even how strangers react. Male dogs often have broader chests, thicker necks, larger paws, and a heavier presence. Female dogs are often leaner, quicker, and more agile in tight movement. That can influence what they naturally enjoy. Some females excel at agility-style games and fast directional changes. Some males excel at strength-based work, pulling, carrying, or endurance tasks, depending on breed. This isn't about better. It's about understanding what you're working with so you can meet the dog's needs without frustration. 6. Energy and exercise needs. Same breed, different day plan. Owners often ask, do male dogs need more exercise? The honest answer is, it depends, but differences can show up. Some male dogs, especially larger or high-drive breeds, can have more restless energy and a higher tendency to channel that energy into roaming, scent chasing, marking, or seeking stimulation in the environment. They may need longer walks or more intense play sessions to feel satisfied. Some female dogs are more efficient with energy. They still need daily exercise, but many do well with steady routine, mental stimulation, and moderate physical activity. But this can flip based on breed. A female border collie can run circles around most dogs. A male bulldog might prefer naps and short bursts. Breed is the strongest factor, but sex can tilt tendencies within a breed. The useful takeaway is this: don't copy-paste routines. Watch your dog. If the dog is pacing, chewing, barking, or restless, it's often under stimulation. If the dog is over-aroused, frantic, or unable to settle, it's often unbalanced stimulation. Exercise is not only distance, it's quality and purpose. 7. Grooming and coat maintenance. Small differences that add up. This one surprises people because it's not talked about much. Some owners notice male dogs can have heavier shedding, thicker coats, or more odor, especially in certain double-coated breeds. Hormones can influence coat texture and shedding cycles. Spayed females sometimes develop coat texture changes too. often described as softer or woollier in certain breeds. That can increase matting risk in long-coated dogs, which means grooming strategy may need adjustment. None of this is absolute, but it matters because owners often blame themselves or blame the dog when the real issue is simply coat biology plus maintenance routine. Brush schedules, bathing frequency, and coat management should match the dog in front of you, not a generic plan. 8. Parental instincts, why females and males can be very different around puppies. Now let's talk instincts. Female dogs biologically have strong maternal patterns. Nurturing, guarding, cleaning, monitoring, that bond can be intense. Even females that never have puppies can show maternal behaviors toward toys, other pets, or even humans. Male dogs often do not show the same parenting patterns in domestic settings. Many males show little interest in puppies, and some may even find them annoying. That doesn't make them bad. It's simply not the same instinctive role for domestic dogs. It's interesting because wild canines like wolves often have more shared parental behavior, including males helping provision and protect. Domestic dog behavior can differ due to breeding history and household structure. So if your male dog doesn't care about puppies, it's not cold. It's normal. And if your female dog becomes more protective around young animals or babies, that can be instinct expressing itself. 9. Roaming, marking, and risk behavior. Why it matters for daily management. One of the most practical differences owners notice is roaming and marking. Intact males are more likely to roam in search of females, mark frequently, and react strongly to scent trails. That can increase the risk of getting lost, injured, or hit by a car. It's also why leash manners can feel harder with some males in scent-heavy environments. Females can mark too, but the roaming drive is often less intense, especially outside of heat cycles. This isn't about good dog versus bad dog. It's about management, secure fencing, leash reliability, structured walks, and training around triggers. Understanding the pattern helps you prevent problems instead of reacting to them. 10. The real takeaway. Your dog is an individual, but biology still matters. So are male and female dogs totally different species? No, they're both dogs. They can both be sweet, loyal, goofy, anxious, calm, protective, or playful. But pretending sex differences don't exist sets owners up to misread behavior. When you understand social tendencies, training patterns, health risks, and instinct differences, you stop labeling your dog unfairly. You start building a plan that actually fits the dog, and that changes everything. So now I want to ask you, do you live with a male dog, a female dog, or both? What differences have you noticed in personality, training, energy, or social behavior? Drop your experience in the comments. If you want more science-backed dog psychology and practical dog owner guidance, subscribe to Doggy Dude and turn on notifications. More videos coming soon.